Hello, all the fellas. This is me, Aryan Kumar, and today we are going to study another crucial topic that is all about variables. Now, there are two type of variables, such as dependent and independent. If you can recognize it by their names, that is not the case. What is a variable, first of all? Anything that is calculated mathematically and that is having two terminologies in it. First of all, dependent and dependent is known as a variable. Now, this describes a relationship between two bondings. Now, I'm not talking about chemistry, the covalent bond, but I'm talking about a bonding between any numerical value or any value that is a variable in itself, such as a or x, and x equals to 2 and any other value. So, right here, my x classifies as a variable that is equivalent that stores the data of two sets. Now, that might be a little bit of complex to you, but if you are a programmer, if you are in a field of mathematics, maybe CS, you can definitely understand it. Let me just clarify further for you. Anything that stores any particular amount of any substance, any numerical value, is known as a variable, and it totally varies upon that value on the other hand as well. That is the basic definition of variable. Okay, now what is a dependent variable? Anything that can be calculated, measured. Okay, again, calculated, measured, studied, observed is called a dependent variable. If I'm having such as glass, okay, now if I have to break it, now I'm storing as glass break. Okay, so anything that can be done by an experiment by a mathematical figure, okay, that is known as a dependent variable. Now right here my glass is my variable that does stores this, that is break. That was just a critical example. Don't go through it. You can just follow up other examples as well from your book maybe. Okay. In simple words or critical words again, a decent dependent variable is a variable that is being measured or observed in an experiment, or a dependent variable is that study and is expected to change as a result of something comes. Okay. Meanwhile, if I talk about independent variable, okay. Now, independent variable is a variable that can be manipulated in experiment or study in an observed environment that affects the dependent variable. So indirectly, these both are interconnected. Whenever a variable is manipulated, if you are any programmer, you can relate with it. Okay, any term is manipulated, okay, switched by one another. Okay, so that is called a independent first of all, and again independent totally varies upon dependent, because if there's not any type of dependent variable, we cannot further manipulate the dependent one to make a independent one. So if you are manipulating a data, that is always available in a dependent way, and that is the more prior way. Okay, I'll just write a prior. Okay, prior x uh, exponent. Okay, perfect. So that was how dependent and independent clauses work. And if I talk about, let's just talk about significant figures today as well. Now, if you don't know what are significant figures, don't worry. We are just going to cover that in a while. Okay. Now, what are significant figures? Okay, let me just write as sig f. Okay, significant figures. Any digit, any digit that is non-zero, that is non-zero, is known as a, a significant figure. Now you might ask me, what is a non-zero value? Anything that comes between 1 to 9 is my non-zero value. Whereas my whole scenario of significant numbers work. Whole mathematical numbers depend upon a significant value that is known as from 1 to 9. That can be anything such as 2, 3, 9, 6, 2, 3. Like a lot of numbers, I can add a lot of numbers again. Now, this particular terms says non-zero. Now, of course, 0 is considered as a number, but having not an actual value in it. So, how it just works? Okay, so if you consider that, uh, if there's a value such as 0, 4, now you might not say that there is a value that is maybe 0 and 4. You don't consider this particular 0 as an actual number. You just try to avoid that and pronounce the 4 itself. That's how the non-zero is actually translated in a few or very deliberate words. Okay, and if I talk about, if I make it 4040, of course it add up a value. And even though if I'm adding up any value after my significant number of 0, it won't be considered. Now you might ask me that you just said that it might get concluded in this, but what if I say whenever it's 0, it won't be concluded because there isn't any point, and whereas it stops, wherever it stops, the whole value will be calculated as a significant number. Okay, now what if I say, uh, let's just have a look at this bill. Now, if you have ever witnessed a bill, there is always the value as, for suppose you have bill of $2 and that is written as 200. Now these both zeros aren't actually carrying anything in itself, but the point where it stops the number, the variable 2. Okay, then it cultivates the second step, that was dollars. Okay, therefore this will be calculated as $2 in a binary system. Now again, binary system, you don't know, you can just search it up. Maybe a video of 1 or 2 minutes, you can just explain, you can just learn how to uh, paraphrase the definition of binary numbers. Basically the numbers on which the computer works, the principle on which the whole AI works, whole computer network works. Okay. All right, so as we were talking about a significant number, now if there's a significant number 247, if I add a point in it and later on consider any other value such as um okay, 1. Now you might ask me that would it end at this point? Okay, would it end at this point? I'll say no, because it doesn't ends at a point that concludes anything. For suppose if it ends at a 0 after running, then I can simply say that 24.1 is my value of significant numbers in it. Okay, I hope that's a little bit overview of significant numbers. Okay, now all non-zero digits are significant. Okay, like every non-zero, it can be like a 12.4 something. That is a non-zero, of course. I'm not adding a zero in it. So that whole value is called a significant number. And if it is like 12.0, of course, zero is considered as a non actual value. So you'll just conclude your answer till the point where it ends. Okay, and if I say zeros between two non-zeros, like of course like this term 200, and if I add a 2 again, then point. So this type of values are not considered as a opposite significant number. These actually are a significant number. How is that so? Because the non-zero numbers encloses itself between a two significant number, and that makes 2002, and the whole value is called significant. Okay, so that is how I define significant numbers in a very few words. Okay, that's it for today. Thank you for joining. See you in our next video. Bye bye.